Well, that sounded good.
It's fun. Hey guys, welcome to the third TonePedia live stream. It's a third, right? Isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah. And if you're watching right now, you should stay here because you can win something today. We need to say that in the beginning so people will keep watching.
Yes, we do. Okay. I hope you're all good. Hope you're all having a lovely Easter. And today is the last day of Easter, so it's not like we haven't all had a nice big break so far. So, man, right. Emmanuel, would you like to explain to everyone what we're doing today? Because I'm just going through and checking. I can see all the comments.
Oh man, we have comments. Awesome. So, what do we have today? We have three pedals of different manufacturers and doing different things. So the first one, the chain, is the Martin Plexitone. The second one is the TC Electronic Corona, mini Corona actually. So it's not that bad. And the third one is the Boss Terra Echo TE-2. That's what we got today. I'm playing an Ibanez RGD, whatever guitar, loaded with Fishman pickups. And behind me, you can see my amp, which is the Hughes Black Spirit 200, which is just set to a pretty neutral, clean channel setting. And what we're going to do is try to get a good tone out of everything I have here in my room. Don't we?
Yes, sir. That is exactly what we're doing. You'll come up with something that sounds like shred, and then I'll come up with something that sounds like music.
That's generally that's generally what I do with people. All right, so shall we start with this first pedal?
Yeah, so what do you know about that?
Okay, I heard the term Plexi before. I'm in my 20s, so don't be upset if I don't know too much about Plexis. But the first time I saw a Plexi was when I was like 16 or something. And I had a friend who had a YouTube channel at that time, and it was called The German Guitar Freak or something. So he was the German Lee. He was obsessed with gear and pedals and amps and all that stuff. And he bought a Plexi. That was kind of a dream of his coming true. And I played that amp. And then I was like, hey, where's the gain channel? Where's the overdrive channel? Where's the lead channel? What is going on? I want to shred. And he was like, it doesn't have any channel, like except for one channel. I was like, why would someone play this type of gear, this type of amp? I don't know how to use that. I can't do anything with it. And he was like, no, you're going to turn on the volume and then it starts to be gainy and be overdrive and all this stuff. So we did that. And that was actually the first and only time I played with the original Plexi. So that's all I know about that.
They are a little bit special, the old Plexis. You know, they're the sounds that you recognise from all the classic albums, and so many people have used them. And then I was told a really interesting story by an amp manufacturer back in the Birmingham Guitar Show. He said that the first JCM 800s were exactly the same amp as the last version of the Plexi. So there was no difference in there. Exactly the same amp, just called a JCM 800.
Okay, it's interesting.
That is fairly interesting. Yeah. I don't know how true that is. You know, you take what these people say by gospel because they know a lot more about it because they build these things.
Yeah. So, but like for me, it's interesting because JCM 800 is also not my go-to amp, to be honest, but it is a metal amp, or it can be considered a metal amp. There are guys like Kerry King, for example, who have their signature JCM 800s. So if these amps can do Slayer, they can pretty much do anything in metal, probably, like gain-wise.
Dude, if Randy Rhoads was using one of them with like what was he using? He was using a little yellow, little yellow MXR pedal. I can't remember what it's called.
It's the one that Malmsteen uses as well, right? I think we have one in the studio, but I don't remember the name as well.
Yes. Oh my god, I can't remember. Can't believe I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, if you can use one of them and get Randy Rhoads tones and Malmsteen tones, then yeah, it's metal. It might not be modern metal, but it's definitely metal.
Like for my generation, that is like a pretty unusual thing. You buy an amp and it can't do everything you want in the first place. You need to put pedals in front and you need to mess around with the setting, and it sounds different when the volume changes. So that is something that is alien for me, kind of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. You know, I I grew up in that sort of era as well, where everything that you wanted was built into an amp. My first amp had lots of different amps. It was a modelling amp, basically. It had loads of different amps in it, loads of different cabs in it, loads of different effects in it. I've still got it. I've actually torn it to pieces, and the head of it is down here, and I use it. Well, I was going to use it as an effects unit, but I haven't really, because I've got loads of effects anyway. But yeah, what happens is as you start to go to amps where they focus on being an amp, they do sound a hell of a lot better. There's no getting around it.
Probably. I mean, I really am into modern stuff, and you know, my favorite amp is like the Blacksburg 200. Like the lead channel of that amp is basically a hot rodded JCM 800 type-ish sound. It's not the exact same thing, but I think it's pretty similar. But if you're sitting next to like the original thing, it always is that 10% better than any plugin could do. You know what I mean? It sounds pretty much like similar, but in the end, the original stuff, if you really like do it with all the pedals, and if you really are into setting up the perfect sounds, it always has that like 10 or 20% on top of it.
Yeah. You know, it comes down to that argument of, look, would the people who are listening to this really notice anyway? And you know, if you say yes, then you're kind of kidding yourself a little bit.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. So okay.
All right.
So the Cole Martin. What's the channel you're going into at the moment? Speaking of multi-channel amps,
It's just the clean channel. It's just that is everything that the amp does right now. So everything you and the EQ is like everything is set at 12 o'clock. So what you hear is just these pedals.
So let's have a look at this first one then. So we've got the Plexi Tone, and is that just a level, a gain, and a tone knob?
Yeah, level, drive, and tone. That's what we got.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's see if we put everything at 12. What's the sort of levels of gain we've got on tap? What's it like 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, from 3 o'clock?
Yeah, let's see. So let's start with everything in the middle. Sounds pretty good.
It does.
Like that.
It's pretty cool.
Well,
okay.
So suggest me some pedals, master.
Well, let's see what
some settings, not pedals. Sorry, so settings. I want settings.
Can you go through the gain settings for us?
Yeah. So let's start like 0.
That's still a nice voice on it. What's that like if you turn it on and off?
Yeah, it brings a certain twang kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it's nice.
So if I just play some funky, rocky stuff. If I turn it on. Can you hear the difference?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that does sound. that's quite a voice on it. It really is.
It has a certain like as most of the distortion pedals do, a certain boost on the high frequencies, I guess, but it really has that fizzy special feel to it that you either love or hate, I guess.
Yeah. Adrian Creed just asked which amp it is. It's the Black Spirit. Which one is it?
Black Spirit 200 from Hughes and Kettner.
Yep.
It's right behind me.
Hope you can see that. Okay. Right, you got lots of people in your channel saying hello as well.
Yeah, hey to everyone. Hope you're doing well.
Okay, right. So let's see. What's that gain like when you put it up a little bit up to say 9 o'clock?
It starts to be rock and roll already.
Yeah. And what happens if you turn the tone up to maybe around 2 o'clock at that setting?
Okay, like the first setting we had was okay, it's rocking. The second setting we had is like it's starting to make fun.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. Do you know what? Plexis are a lot brighter than people think because this pedal does sound dark. It does give you those sort of Van Halen tones that you'd hear off the albums and that sort of thing. But when you isolate those tracks, they are really, really bright tracks. And I want to know if this can give us those sort of sounds. So what happens if you really...
I'm sure, because when I messed around with that pedal, like just 2 or 3 hours ago, I turned... Like I first thought, well, I didn't think that, but I just tried to use it as a tube screamer, which didn't work. But what I will do when using a tube screamer is like turning tone all the way up. So if you do that, it's getting really bright.
Okay, let's hear it. That's nice to hear. Because to me, that is about as much gain as you'd ever want to hear from a Plexi. Really, maybe a little bit more.
It's about 9 o'clock. It's about 9 o'clock only, and you can already pinch the crap out of it.
That's crazy, isn't it? Oh, absolutely mental. Okay, so what happens if we go up to 12 o'clock? Everything on 12 o'clock, we had that already, but let's hear it again. Well, it's
see you tomorrow, mate.
For you. Can you still hear the guitar, or is it mainly the pedal that you're hearing now?
I think the Fishmans I'm using them for a particular reason, because they have that very focus on the high mids. So I think both of the pedals, the pedal and the guitar, both seem to be focused on rather on high mids and high frequencies to be a little tighter for metal. So I think it really still comes through.
That's cool. Should we tap the guitar?
Yeah, we can either like switch guitars. Well, let's switch guitars because we can.
Got anything with single coils?
I have something that is splitting to single coils. So let me just grab another guitar and show people your pretty face in the meanwhile.
Yeah, I was just about to do that.
That's good.
And I'm going to do a dance. So Manuel is going to go and get something with single coils to then try it through the Plexi. And we will see. Yeah, so what we'll do is if we try that sort of clean single coily sound and then see how that translates over into the 12 o'clock position, that should be pretty good. That will give us an idea of how much it's letting through the sound of the guitar and how much it's colouring the signal. Okay.
Yes. So I'm back. What we're also going to mention is what I tried to explain before is that the Fishmans do have a very, very, very specific voicing.
Yep. Nice.
So they are, in my opinion, especially with the active setting, a metal machine. So they are all about like sounding tight and sounding really tight in a mix where a lot of stuff is going on. So they are voiced way brighter than usual pickups. So what I got here is the Ibanez AZ. And just by the way, Lee, what did we release last Friday?
Oh, right, yes, crikey. That was thrown at me from from a left go. We released a new player on TonePedia with some new guitars on TonePedia. We've got the Ibanez AZ, which model is it? Which AZ? That particular one.
That's not the one we have on top here, but it's pretty much the same guitar, just in another color. That's my personal one. So it is the AZ. It's from the premium range, as the one we have on TonePedia, and this one is called. And that's the best thing about Ibanez. They always have these very unique,
like
names.
Gem.
This one is called Ibanez Premium AZ 224 F1P/02. So yeah, better take notes today.
Oh dear! That is something that's always driven me mad. But they have so many guitars. You can kind of understand they'd run out of names otherwise.
Probably that's why I did it. But I mean, it worked for Star Wars as well. I mean,
R2D2.
Who would think that like literally every person knows R2D2?
Yeah.
But okay. Anyway, so why we got this guitar out? It does humbucker, but it also does singing coil sounds.
So let's hear it clean.
Yeah. So clean singing coil. And now let's turn on our Plexi Tone.
Okay. Can you get that back in humbucker for me?
Yes.
You can hear it. It's much happier at home with humbuckers, isn't it? Or is that just you?
Well, it's a bit of both. No, but I think if we are going for, and that pretty much supports what you said in the beginning, Plexis are really bright sounding amplifiers. And generally humbuckers do sound a little darker than singing coils, right?
Yeah.
So if we turn down the tone knob then, because it's at 12 o'clock now, maybe we will get a little thicker sound with the singing coils. So see what I mean? So I think it works with singing coils as well if you turn on the tone knob a little.
Yeah, do you know what I'm hearing there a little bit? And it might just be the mixture of the guitar and the settings and these sort of things, but I'm hearing Thin Lizzy.
Maybe. I'm not too much into that, so.
Oh man,
Sorry.
you're missing out. Apologies for Emmanuel's head being cut off a little bit. He was sat back a little bit more when we adjusted the cameras. Oh, where have you gone? There you are. Yeah, there you go. That's where he said, take the camera from here.
Yeah, I mean, my beard is just the best thing about my face anyway, so if you cut everything off here, it's okay.
Oh, but you got such beautiful eyes.
Oh.
Our friend Adrian Creek asked what the settings on the amp are and what channel. So you're using the clean channel, as you said, but what are your settings on the amp?
I'm using, it's just called the clean channel, and I mean, if you can see the knobs down there, you can pretty much just ignore it, because the Blacksburg 200 can be controlled by a Bluetooth app on your smartphone. And what I did there is just basically anything to 12 o'clock. Okay. So this is about the most neutral thing you could get out of any amp, really.
Yeah, all amps have their own voicings, so at 12 o'clock 2 different amps will sound very different. But yeah, so that gives you a good idea. I do like that about certain amps that you can control with your phones. It's such a nice little feature. You wouldn't get that on a Plexi.
Well, I mean, maybe that's a new business model. Let's call Marshall and tell him.
yeah, for sure. Okay, right. So, should we turn that bad boy up?
Yes, let's drive it a little bit. I like that.
A little bit.
Sounds like a hook of a rap song. Yeah, a little bit. So let's go with 75% on drive.
Okay.
Shan't we? Let's see. Oh, if I'm using humbucker right now, let me turn up the tone a little low. That's what I want. We are now going to that territory, right?
Yeah, it does sound very, very nice. I'm liking that a lot. It seems really quiet as well. It doesn't seem to be much hiss coming from it, and these aren't particularly expensive pedals, are they?
I don't know how much the car Martin is, but I think we can look that up.
I can Google that.
While you're Googling it, let me just play some more metal riffage.
So you're looking anywhere between about £90 and £130, or the corresponding difference in your own country.
That is really cheap. I've expected this pedal to be more of a boutique, handmade, $400 pedal.
No, do you not know Carl Martin? They're really quite cheap in terms of price. I don't know if that's because they're made in China or whatever, but whatever they've done to keep. Oh, dude, don't. we can't go there. Let's not walk that path. You've thrown me off a little bit there. Jim has asked if it's a new guitar. Jim, were you talking about my Strat, or were you talking about Manuel's AZ? So yeah, that's Jim Nugent, a friend of mine. Actually, it's the guy I bought that beautiful Les Paul off of.
Oh,
yeah,
looks gorgeous.
Oh, that is, but that's a story for another day. Okay, so yeah, that seems that's a hell of a pedal. That I've heard a lot of people say, that's one to look for, but that's I just changed the screen just as you went onto it. Did you want to give it full on gain and full on tone and see like how much it will go? Just for a quick.
I've just
why the hell not?
Question. So. Also increase the level a little.
Yeah. Little bit. All right. We know you can play. You were enjoying that, weren't you?
I was enjoying. Please, that is what's going to happen if you give me a pedal that I like.
Yeah, man.
From now on, let's only do pedals that I don't like.
Let's just roll it back and let's see if it can do a little bit of blues, shall we?
Oh, let's see if I can do a little bit of blues.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Let's make sure we do a little bit of something for everyone, shall we? Do a bit of jazz after that. Yeah.
Oh, so, can you suggest some settings?
I think a little bit more on the tone. So put the tone at midday. Just a. Yeah, and then maybe take it down a little bit more on the gain because it's got quite a lot of gain on tap, isn't it? Yeah, about there.
Humbucker or singing coilish?
Humbucker.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's increase the level a little, and also maybe the drive a little. As soon as you're increasing the level, it sounds a little thicker, and that's what you want for blues, don't you?
It depends on what you're playing, who you're playing with, but yeah, generally speaking.
How does it sound in your ears?
Sounds nice, man. It sounds really, really nice. Listeners, viewers, let us know what you think. How does it sound to you? What did you like the best? Do you think this works best for a shreddy sort of pedal, or do you think it works best for a bluesy sort of pedal, or does it nail that that overall Plexi sound? A lot of you would have spent a lot more time with Plexis than either Emmanuel or I. So,
yeah,
how do you think it comes across? Yeah, let us know. Just saying hello to a few people. Jamie Dawes, Andy Ferris, who does a bit of work with Carl Martin, which is cool. Drew Hallenbeck, he's a cool bloke, makes some nice pedals. Yes, Jim was asking about the AZ. We did speak about it a little bit. Have a look on TonePedia. We'll put some links in the comments below, but the the AZ player on there should give you as much as you need to know about it. They are fantastic guitars. My take on them is they are an Ibanez for grown-ups, if you know what I mean.
It's amazing. Like for years, one way of marketing a guitar for like all the companies was this guitar can do everything. But I've never ever. I'm an Ibanez endorser, so I'm biased. But I wouldn't claim that this guitar can do everything. I wouldn't claim that. I would claim that none of the guitars you can see my back can do everything. And I say that as someone who is endorsing this company. The only guitar that I've ever played that can really do a bit of everything, very good, is this.
Yeah. And there's a lot of artists that have gone for him, haven't they? Like Tom Quayle, he's got his own one.
Tom Quayle, Martin Miller, Andy Timmons, Marco Savoli from Italy.
Well, let's be fair, those boys can play. You know, it's not like they're just a blues player or someone like that. They are players. You know, they are really serious players.
So, if you're serious as well, might check it out. I mean, there are alternatives, but it's worth a shot. That's what we got TonePedia for, right?
Yeah. Go on there, have a look. You know, we can put it up against something else like an RG or something along those lines that we've got on there. So we've added that blue RG. That is gorgeous, isn't it? The one that we added.
And if I was you, I would put that up against Strandberg guitar, because Strandberg also has some very gorgeous looking models with Sir pickups in them. And
Fishmans.
And Fishman as well. But like comparing the Fishman, comparing a guitar to the Ibanez AZ, I don't think that Fishman would be a legit choice. But I would rather go to compare a guitar with Sir pickups to these ones, because both of them are very, very diverse pickups. But anyway,
that's a fair point. Yeah.
To the Corona, but before we do that, let me just go for like full everything, because I'm very curious about how that sounds.
I thought you did that. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
We didn't do full level, so let's try.
Oh, there's a bit of hiss there. What did that come from? That was from the...
That was a level.
Oh, okay. Sounds like the sea coming in. Nice.
It's pervert. No, but it's.
Did you say pervert or perfect?
Well, that's up to you.
Perfect pervert.
No, but it is so much. It's just so much. The only way I could describe it. How does that sound? Well, it's much of a sound. No, but I feel that as soon as you're increasing the level to more than 60% or something, that it starts to have a very weird breakup, kind of the breakup that the game breakup that you have when you're using a rat that we had here in the first episode. And I don't find it particularly joyful for shred, but I think it can do, like if you're into alternative rock or something that has to sound crazy, that could also be a very, very nasty option.
Yeah, I think the sweet spot on that pedal is somewhere between sort of like 10 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit.
All
right. Okay. So, do you want to put your safety mask on and your gloves and use some hand sanitizer first before we go on to this next pedal? Have you got a mask? I hope that's not an old pair of boxer shorts.
I don't have them close, but I have some. My parents. How is it called? Now you're gonna be my English teacher. Not only my pedal teacher, but my English teacher. How's a place called where old people live when they can't live on their own?
Medway. I'm joking. It's a retirement home.
Retirement home. My parents run a retirement home, and they have gloves, they have toilet paper, they have masks, they have everything. So Corona, don't worry, I can handle it.
Oh man, that's good. Just don't go giving it to any of the poor sods. Oh, bless their hearts. Okay, so yeah, let's have a look at this then. So this is one of TC's mini pedals. Now they did various different sizes of these pedals. This is the mini, and then they did this normal size. Now they never went up to the big sizes like they did the flashbacks, so the X4 and these sort of things. But I'm gonna Google it now to see if this one can incorporate. Nope, not them. That's a completely different series.
Got it.
So they are. There's a big backstory to them and Behringer and a load of stuff that we won't go into right now. But can you see how the cases are completely different? Like this
has a roundish kind of shape. Doesn't have any edges or something.
That's it. So these are pedals that I think TC probably had those cases made for them because they are ever so slightly different to the ones that you would normally buy, like the Hammond cases. Anyway, I'm going to see if you can get tone prints for these. But while I do you want to take ladies and gentlemen through a few tones?
Yes. So clean sound. Everything on 12 on the pedal. This is how it sounds. There was a bridge humbucker. Let us do something more singing coilish. Let's go for middle position. Singing coil, neck. And now let's go for neck humbucker.
Oh, mate.
What do you think?
It does sound lovely. Chorus is one of my favourite effects. I just want to come in with a few bits and pieces here. So, someone has commented on our TonePedia page. So we've got our own page on Facebook, TonePedia, and Agasono has commented saying, "What you've created with TonePedia is incredible," and that means a lot because we work really, really hard on making it good, and it is pretty unique, and I love that. I love it when people say stuff like that. It's wonderful. It's a good feeling.
Goosebumps. Goosebumps. I'm a pretty hairy guy. I don't know if you can see my hairs on my arm, but they're up to the sky. Thanks, mate.
You're pointing out that you're hairy by pointing to your arm and completely missing this massive, great big Santa beard. You're like a wizard, Harry.
What I'm hiding behind my back, my hat. Let's go full Hagrid mode.
Yeah, man, Hagrid. Oh dear. Okay. So just to jump in with a comment from Jim again. He said when we were talking about prices of pedals, he had a look at the price of an old tone pen bender. But I don't know if Jim got it in 1966, but it cost 12 guineas, which was an old currency we had over here. And that equates to £245 nowadays. So
what did you get for it? A pedal or?
That was a tone bender. So that was one of the very old fuzzes. Probably from somewhere like Macari's. I wouldn't be surprised. Jim, let us know if that was in Macari's, for instance. Mind you, you would have been in Liverpool at that point. Anyway, that will start getting personal there. Yeah, more people joining, watching us. Hello, everyone on Pedalboards of Doom. Hello, everyone on Emmanuel's page, and my own, and TonePedia, and Fret Talk, and YouTube as well.
All across the world.
Yes, all across this wonderful globe of ours. Okay, Corona Chorus MIDI. Ultra compact pedal with built-in Toneprint technology. Do you know what Toneprint technology is, Emmanuel, my friend?
I'm thinking of an answer that... No, well, that's not...
Okay, right. So, if you look on the side of that pedal, you might see that there's a USB in.
Yeah, I've seen it, like, when I got it out of its case, like, what is the case? I think that's the one. I saw that first. I was like, hey, they built in a power bank. So that's going to be an awesome pedal.
Yeah, no.
to begin with.
Right, okay.
Wow.
So what that's for is you can create your own choruses or download choruses that other people have created through the TonePedia, sorry, not TonePedia, through the TC Electronics Toneprint system. You can some
Okay.
some of their pedals you can do it through your phone, and you can what you do. It's really cool. You get your phone, you choose the Toneprint you want, you sync your phone. No, you plug it in. You press a certain combination on the pedal to make it receive it. You send a sound into your pickups like this,
Yeah.
and the sound it sounds like an old fax. You know, like blip, 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 all that sort of thing.
Okay.
And when it sends it, it sends a whole new setting to the pedal. And some of them
All
have
right.
several features, like several different tone prints on. So the tone print you're hearing on this Corona delay today is the basic original preset it comes with, but this pedal is capable of. You could even make this sound like a vibrato or lots and
Oh.
lots and lots of different things. We messed around with a flashback delay once, long time ago, with me and friends, and we made it sound like a chorus. We made it sound like loads of other things because we understand how delays work and these sort of things, which is handy for that. But
So
yeah,
it's not only that you can like download settings to put on it, but you can actually download completely different effects.
you can manipulate more parameters than you can on the pedal itself. So when you
All
go
right.
into the thing, you've got loads and loads and loads of knobs that you can control, rather than just the depth, the effects level, and the speed, which you have on this one, which is handy because it's on
Okay.
this screen here telling me. But yeah, it means that you can via doing that you can create different effects if you understand how effects work. So yeah.
That sounds like something that guitar players could be addicted to.
Yeah, especially since there's an app for
Yeah.
it.
So also young guitar players. No,
Mm.
but actually that's something that is really good. And if you download a tone onto your pedal, do you delete? Do you overwrite what was on there before? Or
on,
is there an option to have two of them?
on the slightly bigger one than this, you have 4 or 5 different tone prints that you can save to.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, presets.
So this is that the exact same thing, but in a smaller case?
Yeah, without the different presets or tone print settings. So if you change the settings on this one, you will only have that setting that you've changed it to.
Got it. So depending on what you want, if you're a guitar player that has a certain sound in mind and you just want to have that one thing for whatever channel you're playing,
Yeah.
then just get one of these. And if you want to switch between whatever 3 or 5 different settings, then you have the option to do it with a bigger one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But what's really cool as well is when you adjust the tone print, you can adjust how much the 3 knobs that you have on there change. So if you wanted if you wanted the speed to go between wah 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 and wah 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 wah, so as quick as that, that speed knob's going to seem like it does almost nothing. Whereas if you
Okay.
wanted it to go from very, very, very low speed all the way up to like that, you that the little increments are going to make a big change. So you've got control over all of that on the tone print. It's amazing. It really is.
So you can really increase the possibilities that you have with this pedal when you using Toneprint.
Yeah, and
Because
on
what I
top of
was about
that,
to say. Oh, sorry, didn't want to interrupt you.
sorry, go ahead, go ahead. I'm interested to see what you're going to say.
Just I'm not the type of person that is. I don't like to use too much effects on my sound for a couple of reasons. First reason is I think that I'm more of the coming from the John Petrucci school of things. Give me a good amp, boost it a little, and then delay on it. Boom! It's gonna be an awesome lead sound if you can play, if you know what you're doing. But if I'm going for whatever a Zach Wild tone or something, then I definitely need effects. And something that I enjoyed about this particular pedal is that it sounded very, very decent. So it's not the type of pedal that you put in and it makes everything sound the same because the impact of the actual effect is so big. But this was really a pedal that you could use to slightly modify your sound, which is what I would be going for. I would,
Yeah.
I would.
TC aren't new to this; they've been doing it for a long time. So, yeah, let's have a listen to this pedal and see what it can do. The other thing I was going to add to this was a lot of the tone prints that you can just download that have been made. They're artist tone prints from people like Steve Morse and Emmanuel Noor and stuff like this. So that's pretty cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
especially the Emmanuel guy.
Oh yeah, I've heard a bit about him. let's see what you can do. Let's get some nice clean tones going on this, then, shall we?
All right. What settings would you suggest?
Can we hear the what the knobs can do? So let us know which each of the knobs are that you're changing,
Yes.
and just the.
We have speed on the right. We have depth in the middle, and then we have level on the left.
Okay. Right, so let's go through them one at a time then. Don't worry too much about the level, but let's see what the minimum and maximum speeds it can do.
I was just thinking in my head, like, if this would control the real Corona crisis, then I would put speed to the max, depth to the lowest setting, and level also to the lowest, and then we would be. Well, in my head it was funnier than.
Oh dear.
All right.
This is why you don't let Germans be funny. Go on then.
All right, let's make some music. All right. So, what was it that you suggested? So don't care about the level.
Yeah, everything at 12, and then just speed to minimum, and then speed to maximum.
Speed to minimum. Let's go for minimum speed.
And if you can you play a chord and let it ring out? Okay. Let's have that at maximum now. So it should sound more like a
speed.
Yeah, and see if we can get it sound like a rotary.
Increase the speed of the pedal or of the playing?
No, of the pedal. Now play some arpeggios, some slow arpeggios. That sounds great. Okay.
It sounds like there's some guy like making fun of me playing a pretty nasty sounding harmony all the time.
Yeah.
Let me try to use that with a Plexi in the solo.
Oh god.
Oh, what's happening? That sounds alien.
What you need to do is get your head into an old rotary sort of Hammond organ, so like Deep Purple sort of John Lord sort of idea, and then you'll start to get it.
Sorry?
You'll start to get it once you start getting your head into that sort of play the Smoke on the Water bass line, for instance.
Sound like that? Don't know.
No, yeah, it's not coming through. Don't worry too much. Okay, let's see what the rate can do. So not the rate, sorry, the depth.
Depth. Let's increase the depth. I go down with the speed a little because it sounds like crazy. So if you're going for something crazy, it's definitely a cool option to choose. But for real, more usual musical use, I would not go for full speed, But okay, I went back with the speed a little, so we are at
Oh
like 2
no,
o'clock, 3 o'clock.
12 o'clock on the speed. I'm not a big one for a lot of speed
Okay.
on a chorus. To be fair with you.
And now full depth.
Yeah, let's hear the full depth. There you go. There she is. That's what we've been waiting for. Okay, so
Kind of.
yeah, if that's the thing. All right. Okay, so we've been going for a little while. Should we get onto the Terra Echo, and then we can see what it sounds like when we put them all together?
Yeah. By the way, your voice started to sound strange. I don't know if it's just here on Skype or also on the live stream.
Oh, I hope not. Okay. Let us know in the comments if my voice starts to sound not quite as sexy as it normally does.
Well, it sounds right now. It sounds like you would put the chorus to your voice.
How have you got this routed?
So just turned on the TE-2, everything in 12 with the setting we just had on the chorus, and that's how it sounds. Now it's getting really dreamy ambient, kind of.
Yeah, let's have a play with the Terra Echo on its own, because this thing is a bit special. Oh, apparently it says Daleks. Do I sound like I'm a Dalek? What is going on with my voice? That's very odd. There's no reason it should be messing up.
Is it also sounding strange?
I wonder if Jim was talking about the sound of the chorus. Okay, we'll soon see. Okay, right, so, yeah, the Terra Echo is a very special pedal, so much so that even on now the new multi effects like the DD500, it's got the Terra Echo setting on it as well. So, talk us through the knobs on that. Let me bring up a picture of it so I can see it as well.
Okay, so what we have here is level, then we have tone, feedback, and S time. What does S stand for in this case?
Oh, that's a good question.
So let me take a look to the box of it.
Well, it's a you won't find much from the outside of the box for Boss Box.
5 years warranty. That's what I got.
Well, it's a kind of like a special effect, isn't it? So let's turn everything to 12, turn the S time all the way down, and then turn the S time all the way up.
All right.
That's a way to try it.
See.
So close, no matter how far.
How is that thing called that DJs do? I don't know, but
when you're spinning the discs, scratching,
yeah, scratching. So maybe it's scratching time. No, but it's definitely adding a certain special effect that is probably nothing that a usual reverb or delay pedal would do. So something special about this pedal.
Right. Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
All right. Let me.
Yeah. Have a play.
Yeah. Let me have a play. All right. that with this particular pedal, it really adds. I don't know. It's like a layer or something, a layer of an effect that it pushes through after whatever you're playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Try this for me. Turn the tone down to about 10 o'clock. Turn the feedback up to about 2 o'clock, and then the S time up to about 2 o'clock.
Got it.
And
Level,
then
12?
yeah, and then just play an A. Play an A9.
Play an A9. Let me see.
We need to turn the. Let's turn the effects level up.
The effects level. Here we got it. All right.
There it is. Let's chuck the tone up to about 2 o'clock as well, and you'll start to hear. If you do a rake, just a on the strings quickly. Stop! Disney will sue us. Oh man, that's the sound I was looking for.
That is spacey. Oh my god.
Yeah, man. Now if you turn the I'm really not sure why my mic's gone funny. Apologies.
Well, right now it's sounding good. Right now it's sounding good.
Okay, that's good. If it's sounding good to you, it should be sounding good to everyone else. Right, yeah. So that if you turn the effects level down on that, it should be it. For me, the Terra Echo works more like a reverb than it does a delay. But yeah, you should be able to get some really nice sounds out of that, because when you punch the Plexi Tone into it, it's going to push it harder anyway.
Okay, so let's see. We got the Plexi Tone. It's not an everyday sound you could use for jamming or whatever, but you can create keyboardish ambient layers with that, I guess.
Yeah, what you could do is turn the tone down on both the Plexi Tone and the Terra Echo, and it should give you some more usable tones there.
Let me turn the level down. Experimental, ambient, progressive, creative songwriting kind of thing that we tried out with the. As soon as you're turning down the level, you get a sound that you could use in everyday playing for lead sounds or whatever. So it still has a pretty spacey character to it, but I don't think that it is disturbing.
Yeah, it does seem to duck out of the way a little bit, doesn't it? That's pretty good. The S time, by the way, is spread time, so I think that's the spread between the delays, which, yeah, fairly interesting. Okay, so let's see. Let's start bringing this to a close then. If you were to make a sound out of these three pedals, how would it sound?
That's the thing that we always do in the end. So,
Yeah.
shall I start or will you start?
You start, man. I know what I want out of it.
Okay, so let me try to go for shred, lead, whatever tone first.
Okay.
So, by the way, do we have any more questions and comments that we should answer? Because if we're now moving towards an end, we shouldn't leave these people unquestioned.
I wondered what you were going to say then. These people. You start. I'll have a look through, and I'll let you know. And if you have got any questions, now's the time to ask them.
Yes, and also keep being here because in the end we will also reveal how to win the pedal that we announced in the beginning. Okay, cool. So what I would do with a Plexi is try to find a sweet spot between a sound that is not too bright, because generally that is a pretty bright pedal, and between a really high gain type-ish sound that does not have this special breakup I was mentioning when I turned everything to 10. So right now I'm having level like on 12, tone is on around 2 o'clock, and drive on 3 o'clock. So that got me pretty close to what I was going for. Let me increase the tone a little and also the level. I think it's a little too much level right now. I want to have more sustain, so let's try to bring the level up again. I think I was the right way to go. Yeah, we're close. Back down, level again, increase. It's sounding great, but it's not making your life easy when you're shredding. It's really challenging to play clean on that one because it's very bitey. You know what I mean, Lee? It's really bitey.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I get the impression that I know what you're after, but see what you can do that's a little bit different, maybe a little bit out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. So that is. I should use that for practicing. That will make my technique better. So let's go for the Corona. So everything to 12. That's how it sounds. Well, it's just a slight touch of chorus right now, as I would like it to have. But for this particular session today, let me make it a little more significantly chorus type sound.
Okay.
Yeah, that works. Now take the TE-2. but that is a sound that is a little more, let's say, a little more even, like it has a little more even gain structure. But it's nothing that you could achieve with that. I'm trying to get comfortable with the idea of having that bitey, classic 80s lead sound right now. And I think if I'm going for that, this would be the way to go with these pedals. So the Plexi Tone on 2 o'clock, Drive on 3 o'clock, level a bit over 12. On the Corona, we have pretty much everything around 12 o'clock. Just play around with that. And then on the Echo, I would do the S time on 3 o'clock, just because that is the unique. That's just a unique part of this pedal, this certain sound. Feedback to 1 o'clock, tone to around 11 o'clock, and then quite low on the level, on the level around 9 o'clock. So that is how it would sound. But it started by playing some more melodic and sustained lines, and then I would go for shred.
That's pretty awesome. That sounded so good when you stopped playing and it just kept going.
That's the biggest compliment you could do for a guitar player.
Yeah. Sorry, man. That's noisy, isn't it?
It is.
Is that
quite noisy?
Is that the Carl Martin? Is it?
It's a Carl Martin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you will have a great time when you have a noise gate.
Yeah, but then again, most people won't be having that pedal turned up quite as much as you've got it turned up there.
Probably.
I think into a crunchy valve amp, I think you're going to get a really good sound out of that. Now that I've heard it,
it sounds really good. It's just not what I'm used to. You know. Generation 5150.
6505. No, man.
Right.
I'd love. Oh, do you know what? I nearly bought a 5150, an original one. Oh, yeah, I'd really like one of them.
Good amps. Nothing to say about it.
PV, if you're listening, Lee
Send
wants
us some over.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but
and Fender,
actually,
obviously.
As I said in the beginning, like the Elite channel from the Blacksburg 200 that I use like all the time is basically sounding like JCM 800 that is pushed with a tube screamer or a booster in front of. So to even out this fizzy gain breakup on this pedal, using a tube screamer would be the way to go for me. But that is if you want to get a modern sound out of that. Like if you're more into that what the pedal is made for, then it sounds surprisingly well. I didn't believe Lee when he said this is like $100. It sounds like a really good and really expensive pedal, to be honest.
Yeah, it's about 130 new from what I can see, but that's still not too bad, is it?
Well, it's really worth the money.
Yeah, I tell you what, Carl Martin have got some fantastically cool guitars that are really cheap as well. They do like a double cut Les Paul Jr. with a single P90 in it, and I really want one. I really do. I'm going to get one of them.
That's what you say. I really want one of them. I really want one of these. I really want one.
I do.
Are you into guitar gear, my friend?
Nah, I can't stand it. Okay, right. Let's make this sound completely different. I'm going to go for an Alice in Chains sort of sound.
I That's all I know.
Okay. Well, think grunge. You know, you go down that sort of territory. No, just stop. Right. Okay. Let's start with let's set it up and then we can turn it on so we don't get the hiss. So if we have the gain on that about 10 o'clock, I think that's going to be plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And let's leave everything else where it is. The chorus, we want the speed to be down.
Speed to be down to what?
To probably about 9 o'clock. And
Right.
the rate to be, the depth to be all the way up.
Okay.
And the other one's just level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how that sounds, because I'm still unsure exactly what we should do with the Terra Echo. It's going to be a bit of let's see how this sounds.
It already sounds better than my sound.
Okay. The effects level on the chorus. What happens if we turn that up? Is it like a blend or is it a volume? There we go. Okay, maybe take that down maybe a notch, just a tad. Just a little bit. Yeah, okay.
Oh, my screen is about to shut off, so I need to stand up.
Okay, I'll put this over onto me. And hello.
Because I'm wearing like exclusively endorser pants that no one may see yet.
He's not actually wearing any pants.
Yeah, that's a problem. That was what I was about to.
Well, that was for a whole different show. Okay.
Because we have an adult live stream after this, and we don't have much time for changeover. So
no. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's hear that just on one chord. Just a power chord. Okay. Or that. Okay, that sounds good. And what should we do with the Terra Echo? Maybe if we have it set up so it's everything's on 2 o'clock, and then we can just play something that has like a down 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 with a rake. I think that'd sound pretty cool. I don't think the Terra Echo's on.
that was a test.
Okay, right. on the A string, bend up from the D to the E. No, it just sounds awesome. Just low strings being bent really slowly with that sort of sound just sounds amazing. Bit of vibrato. That sounds awesome. Oh man, that sounds so good.
I'm somewhere between Star Wars type of movie and video games.
Yeah, it sounds like an old 80s sci-fi, like dystopian sci-fi sort of thing. Oh
So
man.
if you have this pedal, you can literally replace your keyboard player.
Keyboard players
Oh,
have a good
he didn't
time
say
with
that.
That's stereo as well, that.
Yeah, I'm plugged into mono, but it's stereo.
Yeah, imagine
You can
panning
do
up.
stereo as well.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, man. Yeah,
Alright.
I would if I was playing with it, I would tame that Terra Echo in a bit, but I think that's a really fun time we've got there.
It is. I wonder how it sounds with like arpeggios.
If you had there's a pedal by Boss called the Slow Gear, and
Slow gear.
it basically does the swells that you were doing with your volume knob a second ago. So it swells in, so it gives you that violin sort of effect. I'd love to put that in here as well, but they're quite old. You can't really get hold of them very easily. I'm hoping they'll do a Wazza version of one eventually.
Yeah, I'd be happy to test them out. All right, so Lee is getting tired, but it's almost bedtime. No, it's earlier at your place, right?
Yeah.
It's like 8 in Germany. So to sum up my thoughts about these pedals, my thoughts as a more or less young metal addicted touring musician, is that the Plexi really sounds authentic. I don't know that much about original Plexis. I've never owned one. I played a Plexi once, and it has been years ago. But it has that really, like, someone like me connects that fizzy and very bright sound to this particular amp, and I think it really has that. So it's sounding really authentic in my ears. If you want to use that for a more modern metal tone, I would recommend you to get your hands on one of these or something similar, which is just a regular tube screamer. So if you want to check out some tube screamers on TonePedia, you can do that. We have like original Ibanez vintage ones, but we also have like some more modern tube screamers for a very good budget. But if you put something like that on the Plexi, then you can definitely also do something like metal with it. With like having a more even and flat distortion structure. The chorus, I really like the chorus because it was a decent sound we got out of it. I'm not into like massive chorus sounds that are messing everything up and the only thing you can hear is chorus in the end. This is a really decent sound that you can use in a very musical way. Also with the Toneprint feature that Lee mentioned at the beginning, that can be very funny, and you also get like lots of value for money.
I'm a pretty big chorus fan. This is my baby. This is a very old CE2. It's a Japanese one. It's not a black label or a silver screw, but it is an old one. I think this is from about 84, 85, something like that. And this is one of my favorite pedals. It sounds amazing.
It looks awesome. I like the color.
And that I'm quite like a connoisseur of chorus, if you like. That sounds pompous as you like, but to get the message across, I thought that TC sounded good.
Yeah, it definitely sounded good. Just what like from, and again, I say this every time, but there's no bad or good sounding pedal. In my opinion, there's a pedal that you can do a certain thing with, and I just want to tell from my perspective if the sounds that I would go for are possible to achieve with this pedal. And if you want to have a very musical and very decent chorus, then with the vanilla setting, like the pedal as it comes without doing anything on Toneprint, then it really can do something good with your lead sound.
Yeah, so that's a really good point. You don't have to go into the tone prints and everything to get a good tone out of that.
Yeah, definitely not. So the Terra Echo is something that I would really love to do experimental stuff with, because it's not just the usual delay or echo, delay or reverb. Sorry, I mean, you could use it for that if you turn down the level, but if you want to unfold the full potential of what this particular pedal is capable of, then you probably want to get a clean channel, clean amp, and then start to mess around with the S time, which was spread time, right?
Yes. S time, spread time knob. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you mess around with that, you can achieve some very spacey, experimental, progressive, creative sounds that you could use for, all sorts of crazy songwriting and tones. So these are my summed up thoughts about these pedals. What do you say, Lee?
Yeah, the Terra Echo. I've got a DD500 on my board, and the Terra Echo setting on it is one of my favourites to play with. If I want to get an ambient sound, there are other options on there, but I do tend to go towards the Terra Echo mainly because if you do that rake, you get that prrrr sound, and I really like that messing around. I like having a control over it, so I can just make it do that. Yeah, it's a great pedal, because we were having a discussion about which pedals we should put on the show this week, and you happened to mention that we had that in, and I was like, oh yes, do that one.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to hear what you would do with it, because it is a bit of a crazy one, and it's nice to put a good guitarist out of the comfort zone to see what happens.
Today I was maximum out of my comfort zone, to be honest.
Good. Yeah. It's nice. It is a wicked pedal, that one, and a lot of people who've got it really love it. It's it's a good one. So yeah, all in all, I think that we got a really cool sound out of it. When you started doing those swells on the arpeggios at the end, I thought that sounded awesome. I really did. Yeah, don't do it again.
About how it sounds on a clean channel.
Yes. Right, giveaway time. We are currently running a giveaway. If you're on Pedalboards of Doom, you will see it posted at the top. If you are on Tonepedia, you will see it posted probably at the top, somewhere on the page. And on our corresponding sites, Fret Talk, I believe it's on there as well. We've posted it on Katanas, we've posted it everywhere. And
it's pretty much impossible to not see it.
What you have to do is you have to go in, listen to the pedal that's on there. You can change the guitars, you can change the pickups, you can change the amps, you can try lots of different tones through this pedal, but the pedal's tones and controls are locked on purpose, and you have to guess what that pedal is. Now, here's the thing, right? And this is something that a lot of people who have entered the competition have missed. So listen carefully. The pedal is on TonePedia.com. It is not just a pedal that you're picking out of the air. It is a pedal that is on TonePedia.com somewhere. So if you can't go, I know exactly what that is, go on there and have a look. You'll be able to narrow it down. The competition ends probably tomorrow night, I would say. So we'll give you one extra day, and we'll pick a winner this week and let you know who's won. We've had lots of entries so far, but we've had a number of right answers, but not a huge number of right answers. Of all the people who have entered, it's not a huge amount. Something weird, really weird, is happening with the. It's happening with your camera now. Are you moving it?
No, I didn't. But something weird was happening to your camera as well. So
is it?
I don't know. Alien invasion. I don't know.
I wonder if that's happening on. I wonder if everyone else is seeing that. That's very, very strange. You just
we will find out
got really small and then ended up behind me, and now you're.
I lost some weight.
It's a good job we're at the end then. Oh, you're back to normal. There you go.
That's cool. So I gained the weight again. But what I was about to say is, if you can't remember everything that Lee just said, but you still want to take part in this competition, then go to Instagram.com/TonePedia, and there you will find a post that kind of looks like this, with a very bright blue background and a question mark in the middle. And there you can basically see everything you would need to know to enter this competition.
Yep. And if you like how it looks, let me know, because I designed that and I thought it looked really Eastery.
And if you like sound sample, then let me know, because I played and composed that. Oh, we are so awesome.
Did I not help you compose that sound sample?
I think the good ones I composed when you haven't been there.
Truth hurts, boy. Right.
People, you need to understand that we've been working in Skype together so much, so we're just making fun of each other all the time. So, but well, I felt that today's stream was very funny. I think we're getting better from time to time. Like I am.
This is a conversation we have after the. We're supposed to talk about this after.
Just let people know that it's starting to make really fun, and we're also starting to grow an audience by going to multiple groups and all that stuff. So if you have been watching this, if you have posted a comment or whatever, thank you very much for your support. And I think next time we might have a little announcement before we go live, so that you can maybe schedule that.
Yes, and we're planning on having some special guests on soon, and that should be really good. We've got quite a few booked up, so yeah, we'll have them on, and we'll have a good old chat, and we'll see what they can do with a few pedals, and see what they can recommend and what orders they come up with.
Yes. All right.
Okay. Right. I'm Lee Alexander of Pedalboards of Doom and TonePedia, and this is Emmanuel of Majesty and Shreducation, and what else? TonePedia.
My name is Hagrid, and I like to shred.
He trains dragons, three-headed dogs, and spiders. Right.
See you guys.
Okay. Bye-bye.